my office to our mailbox at the reproduction room on the opposite side of this building, or you can mail it to 155 Hessler Place in Hagatna, Guam 96910, or you can email it to fbtorres@judi1pat.com, or fax it to 472-3589. We have 3 individuals who are here to support: Angie Taitigui, Sherry Barcinas, and Yonsu Park. And to speak on the bill, we have Judy Flores, Kevin Carrigan, and Johnny Sablan. We also are in receipt of testimony in support by Crystal Koga. Let me see. And from Margaret, which Kevin, you're going to read. And let me see, I'm just... Okay, so those are the ones so far that we've received. So what I need for you to do is state your name, who you represent, and then, of course, state whether you support or whether you do not support Bill number 44. You may proceed with, if you have a written testimony, that would be great. If not, then we will transcribe exactly what your testimony today in preparing the committee report. So I'll go ahead and start with you, Dr. Flores, and then Kevin, and then Johnny. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity to testify in favor of this bill. My name is Judy Flores. I am presenting testimony personally as a professional artist and also stating my support for the proposed amendments as chairperson for the Guam Council on the Arts and Humanities Agency. As a visual artist, I have benefited from the original Percent for the Arts legislation. However, I believe it is important to look beyond self-interest to address the needs of our island art community in general. In my work as a historian, folklorist, and supporter of traditional indigenous art forms, I have seen a renaissance of arts in all disciplines over the past 25 years. Many deserving projects have not had sufficient monetary support through the limited CAHA annual grant funding, nor even through the generosity of our corporate community. Despite these limitations, our passionate artists have created amazing productions, increased focus on traditional creations and apprenticeships, performances, literary works, publications, and documentaries. They need public support to continue their creative efforts. Unfortunately, I've also seen a drastic decline in support for the arts and arts curriculum in our schools. Now that our economy is emerging from a long period of dormant activity, the Percent for the Arts law can again realize significant funding from new construction projects. This significant funding will increase opportunities for our artists to create expressions. Let me start again. I don't think it was recorded. Now that our economy is emerging from a long period of dormant activity, the Percent for the Arts law can again realize significant funding from new construction projects. This significant funding will increase opportunities for our artists to create expressions of our island ideals, themes, icons, culture, and history. It is important that artists of all disciplines are included in these opportunities. It is also important that public money spent on our educational facilities can comply with the Percent for the Arts law in ways that will help our students grow creatively. The amendments proposed in Bill 404-33 are a much-needed addition to Guam's Percent for the Arts legislation, and I'm therefore here to support the amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I know your voice was going in and out, but it's good that we also have your written testimony, so that would be easy. It's just unfortunate that maybe the public listening audience may not have been able to hear it all. But we'll go ahead and proceed. Kevin?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Kevin Carrigan. I'm the communications officer at Guam Regional Medical City. I am here representing our CEO, Margaret Bengzong. She apologizes she cannot be present for this hearing. She is attending an important meeting at the hospital, but she did ask me to come down and read into the record her letter of support for this legislation. Dear Speaker Wonpat, I am writing in support of the revisions of Guam Public Law 31-118, which have been proposed by you and Senator Rory Respicio in Bill number 404-33. GRMC is committed to supporting Guam's art and culture, as we have demonstrated by our unequivocal and ongoing compliance with the requirements of the current law, commonly known as the Percent of Arts Law. However, we believe that our island community would benefit by expanding the definitions of what constitutes arts and culture so that we can support a more inclusive range of works and activities that reflect our shared heritage. Excuse me. Bill number 404-33 would expand our ability to support the performing arts, literature in its many forms, including poetry, fiction, and nonfiction, as well as oral literature, whether spoken or sung. The proposed revisions would also permit us to support works of art created with new media technologies such as electronic and digital art, computer animation, and internet art. Equally important are the revisions that would allow support for the traditional arts and skills of healing, ancient navigation, canoe building, fishing, and food making. We respectfully call on all members of the legislature to support the revisions proposed by Bill number 404-33, which will broaden the scope of support for our shared culture and arts, enriching us all. Sincerely, Margaret Bengzong, CEO, Guam Regional Medical City.
Thank you very much. And Johnny Sablan.
Good afternoon, Sidus Masi, Madam Speaker, and Feliz Pascua. My name is Johnny Sablan. I'm here to represent the Council of the Arts and Humanities as Executive Director. And we wanted to give our support of Bill 404-33 and the added amendments, an act to amend to include all arts discipline relative to the arts in public buildings and facilities, from traditional folk arts through music and performances and cultural expressions et al. I do want to say one issue that we have on the 1% of the arts in the collection of that. After signing off for occupancy permit, I hope that we still have recourse to go back and send them or to let the owners and the contractors know that even if we signed off, that they're still obligated to the 1% of the arts in their responsibility. So I hope we can straighten that out, maybe perhaps in the law. Other than that, Madam Speaker, Kaha and I speak also to all the artists that are being represented in this island, that they are very grateful for this amendment to be part of the law. Okay,
thank you very much. On that concern that you have, do you have a proposed amendment to that, for that particular section?
Not really, Madam Speaker. All if you could just add somewhere in the line. I don't know if it's part of the rules that we need to include.
Yeah, because I would say that I'm sure is in the rules and not on the law.
Okay.
I'm going to have to look at that and see then whether that is something then we can do then by law if it's not on the rules, because I think you're actually reviewing your rules already.
That's right.
And maybe at that point, then that's where you might be able to make those changes.
Thank you.
Because there's a difference between what the law specifically would set in terms of what the parameters will be, but then the detail aspect of how it's supposed to, operate will be in the rules.
Another concern is, for example, I know that in public buildings, such as like the airport, for an example, they've just completed the 23 million baggage for the passengers. They're claiming that that's just equipment replacement, and it's not part of the construction part of the 1%. And I told them I'm just following the law, and what the law says that any renovation in public buildings, and public access is getting their baggage in that new $23 million baggage system that they have included in there. So I want clarity on the law also, if that should be included, any building equipment replacement, and they get very costly nowadays in many public buildings. So if we could define that more specifically, that it includes them or not.
Okay, yeah, but definitely we'll look into it. And so I was taking notes here to make sure, because I know it says the owner of the building shall also have the option of allotting at least 1% for the overall construction, remodeling, or renovation cost of the building. Okay, so
that part under remodeling?
You're right, under
Yes.
remodeling, yeah. Did they say that they brought in new equipment and that they had to kind of retrofit the area for that new equipment? You're talking about the baggage carousel?
System now, yeah, that was on the news the other day for $23 million.
Okay, no, if that's what it is, then they're okay.
Well, they said it wasn't clear.
Okay, so maybe we can clarify that for them to let them know, because that's 1% of $23 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam
You're
Speaker.
welcome. Thank you. Kevin, I guess you can relate to Margaret, is that, we appreciate your support as well, because I know you're the latest institution who has been participating in this, and the list now of the different art form. And I want to thank Kaha and the staff who basically sat with my office to come up with all these definitions, primarily because of the most recent celebration of the Festival of the Pacific Arts, that we saw a wide range of art form, that it's not just visual arts, but definitely a lot more. And when you say here, equally important are the revisions that allow support for traditional arts and skills of healing. And and that's important in medicine as well, because it's not just all pharmaceuticals, but actually now turning to the art of using herbs and and other therapy that can contribute to the health and welfare of the people as well. So I appreciate that. Is there any other comments that you have that you want us to look into? Any concerns? And if not, then I really want to thank you very much for coming in this afternoon to testify on behalf of Bill 404. And if there's anyone else in the community who's interested and want to provide any testimonies, please send your testimonies via delivery to my office or delivery to the reproduction room. You can fax it at 472-3589, or you can email it to FB Torres at judiwonpat.com. And this then actually, it's a short one, actually concludes the hearing of Bill number 404, which has met the requirements by law and is duly heard, and we are going to adjourn at 2:25. Thank you very much.